Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Briareos Kerensky and welcome to the review of Dragon Mark for Death, the latest side-scroller by Inti Creates, available digitally in all regions. Japan also has a physical version already available. America will get that in March 2019. As with, I think all of Inti Creates releases on this console, the Japanese version includes English voices and text. Once, the Astral Dragon saved the clan from oblivion by mixing its blood with them, and from there onward the clan was known as the Dragon Blood Clan. One day the Divine Family captured the clan's oracle, Amika, and slaughtered the rest. Only 4 people survive, all willing to exact revenge on the Divine Family and the Celestials behind them. The Astral Dragon grants them powers, resulting in the 4 becoming, in game terms, different classes: Empress, Shinobi, Warrior and Witch. The 4 become adventurers to gather strength and notoriety to achieve their goal, and this is where the game proper begins, after you've selected your class and customized the few available parameters. The 4 classes play very different from each other. The Empress is a jack of all trades, the Shinobi is agile, the Warrior is the tank, and the Witch acts from afar with offensive and support spells. All stages are built around the class's special abilities, like the Empress hookshot or the Warrior's tackle. Everyone can reach everything, you just need to be creative on how to use the abilities and maybe have to take the tours. Dragon Mark for Death can be played alone or with others in both local and online multiplayer. I've played the whole game alone. Every time I've tried online multiplayer there wasn't anybody around. Anyway, yes, the game can be completed entirely in single player, although it won't be easy. I started with the Witch, and pretty early in the game I've hit a progression wall where my character wasn't strong or resilient enough to clear quests. I had to buckle up and try and retry quests multiple times, hoping that at least I'll get items I could equip or gather enough experience for a level up, which comes with a meager stat increase and a most important single bonus point to further bolster a stat. Past this wall I had a fairly easy time. While fragile, the Witch has 4 elemental spells to exploit enemy weaknesses, and once I figured out the best way to use them, it was just a matter of memorizing stage layouts. I did hit other progression walls through the game. One was the final boss that could kill me in one hit with most of his attacks, but more importantly, after clearing all available quests, I didn't know what to do. Turns out that 8 missions have not so optional objectives you have to clear to open the final chapter, but the game doesn't tell you that, or give you hints. Well, there is one hint, a blue flag near the quest name, and I got one relatively early in the game by pure luck, but I didn't know what the flag meant until I searched about that online. This is one of Dragon Mark for Death's problems. It's very opaque on some of its mechanics, even those that could preclude your progression through the game. Some quests just throw you onto a stage with a very vague objective and you're left to your own devices to understand what the game wants you to do. And there is little time to ponder, as all missions have a time limit. I've cleared some missions with less than 1 minute remaining, even when I knew where to go and what to do, and the timer doesn't stop during dialogues, making me fast forward through them because I didn't know how long a boss fight would take or if the stage had something after that. I have completed the game once with the Witch and played a few quests with the other classes. Due to the time limit, I don't know if the slow warrior can make through the whole game entirely on his own. On the other hand, completing a quest was always an adrenaline rush, and defeating a boss always left me spent. There aren't many enemies or bosses in the game, but all have their own specific attacks and movement patterns, and it's vital to learn them. I was able to brute force some of the later bosses, as I think the witch has many more tools at her disposal to face flying bosses, against which other classes might have a hard time in scoring hits or full combos. Like enemies, there aren't many stages. Those that are there are very well defined in both graphical terms and gimmicks, but going through the same landscapes over and over again, only with section cordoned off, became boring after a while. This, however, meant I already knew the layout for more advanced, and therefore more demanding, quests, speeding up going through stages considerably. You can take on harder versions of all quests, but this only changes how strong enemies are, not their placement, elemental affinity or variety. Due to its multiplayer nature, stages don't have any checkpoints and you can only die a limited number of times, indicated by the green bar at the bottom of the screen. I've never found the lack of checkpoints and the limited lives too stringent for the task at hand. The time limit was much worse. Having to replay a 20 minutes long quest for a misstep or not enough time is always infuriating though. While platforming and puzzles aren't nothing peculiar, the combat is rather deep. There are 5 elements, arranged in a classic weak-strong circle. The witch's spells all have special properties that go beyond inflicting status changes like confusion or stun. For example, the basic wind spell can push some bullets around. The fire spell is fast and travels a long way, but has a minimum range, and so on. The Empress Dragon Arm attack has stun properties and can be comboed with normal attacks, and if the stage allows, she can be highly mobile thanks to her hookshot. The warrior doesn't really have combos, at least not in the beginning, but he can charge up attacks to deliver powerful, multiple hits on a target. Combat and special abilities have been completely nailed by Inti Creates, and are the highlight of the game. Dragon Mark for Death controls well, as all of Inti Creates side-scrollers do, and there is nothing major to report here, although I wish the dash would last as long as I keep the button down, rather than having to constantly tap it. A dedicated dodge or backstep button would be great for combat classes. As for the witch, maybe a quick cast button for a spell of your choice, but I can understand why such shortcut is not present, as you can fumble spells by using the wrong inputs. The right stick is used to zoom in or out, something vital in one stage. The sprites look considerably worse when fully zoomed out, scaling isn't particularly great, but you can see a lot more of the stage. The camera's default position is good for most situations. Graphics are bright and colorful, with well-detailed and animated sprites. Some of the larger bosses look coarser than standard enemies, and one particular archetype is used for 3 different bosses, each with a different color pattern and minor detail variations. Players' weapons change based on what you have equipped, and whatever effect is in place, whether negative like poison or confusion, or positive like temporary stat boosts, is clearly represented on player sprites. Dragon Mark for Death is a strange game for me. I really want to like it, there are good things, but there are also several rough edges I can't pass over, and despite that I went back until I beaten it. The opaque objectives, the required grinding, the repetition, ruin an otherwise great side-scroller that has no faults on how it controls, plays or looks. Dragon Mark for Death is still fun, but I can't fully recommend it. I did finish the game and enjoyed it most of the times, but I am in no rush to replay it with any of the other 3 classes to reach the true ending. For those willing to adventure into this game, be advised that it won't be easy and patience is required. I hope you have enjoyed this review and you'll stick around for more. Briareo Skerensky, over and out.